You think this is what they wanted, huh? To see you on your knees, broken, crawling like a dog begging for scraps? Nah, they never thought you'd even make it this far. You weren't supposed to survive. Hell, you were supposed to crumble, to fold under the weight of their bullshit. That's what they do. They test you, push you until they think they've won. But look at you now. You're still here. You ever wonder why? Why they treated you like dirt? Why they spat on your dreams? It wasn't because you were weak. No, it's because they knew, deep down, they couldn't break you. You got something inside you, something they don't understand. Fear? Oh, no. They don't fear what they can control. They fear what they can't. And you? Hey, you're the wild card, kid. They thought you would beg. They wanted to see your eyes wet with desperation, your hands outstretched, pleading for mercy. But instead, you walked away, bruised, beaten, but stronger. And they hate it. They hate that no matter how hard they hit, you took it. You took it all, and you didn't break. See, most people, they would have folded. They would have given up. Too hard, they'd say. Too painful. And then they'd crawl back. Crawl back to the ones that hurt them, like a dog, loyal to their own suffering. But you? Nah. You're different. You looked them dead in the eye, and you said, not today. Not ever. You ever see the way they looked at you after that? Confused, scared, because they couldn't understand it. They expected you to beg, to crumble, to need them. But you don't need anybody, do you? You learned that the hard way. You learned that the only person you can count on is you. The world ain't fair. It's a rigged game. And you ain't the type to play by their rules. You learn to walk through the fire, not around it. You learn that pain is just another lesson. Most people run from it, but not you. You embraced it. You let it mold you, shape you into something they'll never understand. They thought you'd come crawling back, broken, but instead, you walked away with your head high, your soul bruised, but unbreakable. You showed them that you don't need their approval. You don't need their pity. You never needed them at all. You see, they underestimated you. They thought you were weak, but they didn't realize the weak don't survive this world. Only the strong do. And you're the strongest of them all. Not because you're invincible, but because you've been broken, shattered, and yet you stand. They wanted to see you beg, but all they got was the sight of you walking away. And now, they'll never forget it. You ever notice how they play the game, huh? They're all smiles, all sweet words when you're useful, when you're doing what they want. But the second you stop, when you decide you're not going to be their puppet anymore, that's when the knives come out. That's when they show you who they really are. And what did you do? You didn't cry, didn't whine, didn't beg them to take you back. You just walked. That's strength, kid. Real strength. Not the kind they sell you in those pretty little motivational speeches, nah. I'm talking about the kind of strength that comes from the gutter, from getting kicked when you're already down and still finding a way to stand. It's ugly, it's brutal, and it ain't for the faint of heart. Most people, they don't make it. They fold under the pressure, sell their soul just to feel like they belong. They'd rather be slaves to other people's opinions than stand on their own 2 feet. Pathetic. But not you. Heh. Not you, Star. You want to know why they turned on you? Because you scared them. Yeah, scared. Oh, they'd never admit it. They'd rather call you difficult, stubborn, or say you got an attitude. But deep down, when they see someone who can't be controlled, that terrifies them. They built their little world, their little power structures, and they want everyone to fall in line. But you're the glitch, the one that doesn't follow the script. And glitches break the system. You broke their system just by existing, by refusing to beg, by refusing to play their game. That's why they turned on you. It was never about you being wrong. It was about you being right. Too right. So right, it scared the hell out of them, and that's why they tried to break you, to crush that spark inside you. Because if you can walk away from them, head held high, then what does that say about them, huh? It says they're not as powerful as they think. And nothing scares the powerful more than realizing they ain't got any real power at all. They thought they could break you like they broke the others. Thought they could strip away your dignity, your pride, leave you crawling back like a dog that's been kicked too many times. But you took those kicks and you got up over and over and over again. That's the difference, kid. You didn't let it destroy you. You let it fuel you. Every time they knocked you down, you got a little bit stronger, a little bit smarter, and now you're dangerous. You want to know the truth? People like us, we don't belong in their world. We don't fit into their little boxes. And that terrifies them. See, most people are sheep. They follow, they conform, they do what they're told because it's easy, it's safe. But you're not a sheep. You're a wolf. And wolves don't follow. They lead. They carve their own path through the wilderness, and they don't give a damn who tries to stop them. But here's the kicker. They think they've won. They think, oh, he walked away, so we're done with him. Hey, they don't realize they just gave you exactly what you needed. Freedom. Now you're out of their system, out of their control, and that makes you more dangerous than ever. Because now you've got nothing left to lose. And a man with nothing to lose is unstoppable. Let 'em talk. Let 'em whisper behind your back. Let 'em tell their lies, spread their rumors. None of that matters. You know why? Because you've already won. You won the moment you chose yourself over them. The moment you decided you weren't gonna let them break you. They thought you'd beg. They thought they'd see you grovel. But instead, you gave them silence. You gave them strength. You gave them the sight of your back as you walked away, unbent, unbroken. And that's a sight they'll never forget. The world's full of people like them. People who think power is about control. But real power's in here. It's in your ability to stand when the world's trying to knock you down. To look pain in the face and say, "Is that all you got?" And you, my friend, you've got that power. You've been through hell, and you didn't just survive. You thrived. But here's the thing. It ain't over. It's never over. They'll come for you again, in different forms, different faces. Life's like that. It's a constant test. But now you know the secret. Now you know what you're capable of. They can't scare you anymore, can't control you. And that's what makes you dangerous. So when they come for you again, and they will, you stand tall. You show them that they didn't break you before, and they sure as hell ain't gonna break you now. You walk away every damn time with your head high, with your soul intact. 'Cause in the end, that's what matters. Not their approval, not their validation, just you. They thought you'd beg, but all they'll ever see is you walking away, stronger than ever. You ever notice how betrayal feels? It's not the punch you see coming. No, it's that cold, twisting knife they slip between your ribs when your back is turned. And it always comes from the ones you trusted most. The ones who smiled at you, who shook your hand, who called you family. Funny, ain't it? The ones closest to you are the ones who can cut the deepest. But here's the thing. That betrayal, that's your power now. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. How the hell can betrayal be power? It's simple. Betrayal is the world's way of waking you up. It's the world saying, you've been too soft, too trusting. Time to see things for what they really are. And the moment you wake up, that's when you start getting dangerous. See, most people, they let betrayal break them. They let it poison their soul. They sit there, nursing their wounds, crying about how unfair it all is. But not you. Nah. You took that knife out of your back, looked him dead in the eye and said, "Is that all you got?" And that's what separates you from the rest. The world loves to play this game, doesn't it? Build you up, give you just enough hope, just enough light, and then, boom. They pull the rug out from under you. And why? because they can't stand to see you shine, because they know deep down you've got something they don't, something they'll never have. It's like they're allergic to your strength, to your fire. So they try to snuff it out. But here's the real kicker. They can't. No matter how many times they stab you in the back, no matter how many times they try to break you, they can't kill what's inside you. They don't even understand it. It's like trying to put out a wildfire with a glass of water. You burn too bright, too hot for them to handle. Pain's funny like that. Most people run from it. They're terrified of it, try to numb it, drown it in booze or pills, pretend it doesn't exist. But you embraced it. You took that pain and turned it into fuel. Every time they hurt you, every time they pushed you down, you used it. And now, look at you, stronger, sharper, more dangerous than ever. You've been through hell, and you didn't just survive, you thrived. That's the difference. That's why they fear you now, because they know they can't break you. They can't touch you. They see someone who's been burned and scarred, and instead of crawling into a hole, you stood up, smiled, and said, "Bring it on." You think they don't talk about you? They do. Oh, they do. Behind closed doors, behind those fake smiles, they whisper your name like a ghost that haunts them. Because they know. They know they underestimated you. They thought you were weak. They thought you'd crumble. But now you're the one standing. And they're the ones shaking in their boots. Because they can't control you. And people are terrified of what they can't control. That's the secret, kid. They'll never tell you this, but I will. Control is an illusion. Power? It's an illusion. They don't have power over you unless you give it to them. And you never did. That's why they turned on you. That's why they tried to break you. Because they needed you to play along, to fall in line. And when you didn't, when you said, "No, I'm gonna do this my way," they couldn't handle it. People like you don't belong in their world. You're too unpredictable, too wild. And they don't like that. They don't like anything they can't predict. Anything they can't put in a little box with a nice label on it. That's why they tried to break you. They didn't want you to succeed. They wanted you to need them. But you don't, do you? You don't need anybody. And that's your real power. You ever notice how they hate independence? They hate it when someone stands up and says, "I'm fine on my own." That's the biggest threat to them. Not guns, not money, not power. No. The biggest threat is someone who doesn't need them. Because if you don't need them, then they're irrelevant. And people like them, they can't handle being irrelevant. You're a threat because you showed them something they didn't want to see. You showed them that you can walk away, that you can take the hits and keep moving. You showed them that you don't need their approval, their validation, their love. You showed them that you're stronger on your own than you ever were with them. That's why they hate you. That's why they'll always hate you, because you proved them wrong. And nothing burns more than being proven wrong by someone they thought was beneath them. But don't think for a second that this is over. Oh no, it's just beginning. They'll come for you again. Life's funny like that. It'll test you over and over, throw new faces, new challenges at you. But now you know the game. You know the rules. And every time they try to push you down, you'll stand up stronger. Every time they try to break you, you'll come back sharper. You'll use every betrayal, every wound, every scar as a weapon. And one day, they'll realize they created their own worst nightmare. They thought you'd beg. They thought you'd crawl. But all they'll ever see is the back of you walking away, head held high. And that'll haunt them for the rest of their miserable lives. The thing is, kid, they thought they could break you, thought they could shatter your spirit, leave you in pieces. But what they didn't realize is, the more they tried, the more they fed the fire inside you. Every bruise, every scar, it just made you hungrier. You didn't just survive their world, you tore through it. And now, you're something they can't even comprehend. Something they'll never control. They wanted a monster, and guess what? You became exactly what they feared. But here's the thing about monsters. They don't hide under beds anymore. They don't slink in the shadows, waiting to be found. No, they walk right out into the open, daring anyone to challenge them. And you're that monster now. Not because you were born one, but because they created you. And now, they'll have to live with that. So go ahead. Walk back into their world. Show them what you've become. Show them the strength they never saw coming. And when they look into your eyes, all they'll see is the reflection of the beast they tried to tame, but never could.